Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Bryce giving you a quick shout today. We're going to be going over the WrestleMania card for night one and two. At the time of this recording, it is Thursday night before WrestleMania weekend. So things may change on SmackDown, but without further ado, we'll dive into the card real quickly. We're going to start off with ESPN2 is going to be hosting the first hour of WrestleMania for free. They've already announced the two matches that are going to be on there. The first one is The Vision teaming up with Speed. They're going to have Paul Heyman in their corner. They're going up against the Usos and LA Knight. Just very briefly on this, I think this is going to be a great feel good match to start out the show. It's going to be the introduction to WrestleMania as a whole. So it's to get the crowd going, get everybody excited. I think it's going to be a feel good moment for the Usos and LA Knight to get a win. Definitely overdue. Hopefully, this does conclude LA Knight's um, his chapter and his arc with the Vision. I understand that to a degree. He's still got Braun uh, and Bronson, and possibly they talked about Brock Lesnar being an opponent of his going into this um, back before Obo was confirmed. I'm glad they didn't go in that route there because I think this is a little bit better for LA Knight to get that feel good win. Hopefully, he's the one that picks up the win there. Um, and ultimately, I think it's going to be a great opportunity to kick off the show. Speed, I think, is going to be incredible. I've seen clips of him training. There was that video of him with Randy Orton uh, doing that a couple weeks back or so, probably a couple months. It's been a minute. But definitely going to be a great opportunity without kind of going into there and hesitating into that. Very excited to see what the six of them can do, and I think it's going to be a great way to kick off the show. The other one is going to be Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Uh, Two different avenues you can go in this, right? You can go with Jacob, and he's the up and rising star. He definitely would benefit from a win at WrestleMania, uh, especially with the opportunity at hand that this leaves an opportunity that he could be challenged for the WWE Championship after this. We need new stars, and he would be a great face to challenge for the world title. Other than Drew, he just lost the world championship. He's been having a lot of bad luck recently, and I think that even though he has been rumored to leave for the Highlander movie to play in that, I think they've also been working around his schedule here, and I think that even if he was to still continue to film, I think they're going to work around that, where he wouldn't be around long or out long. Um, Ultimately, I'm going to go with Drew. I think he needs it more, especially after losing the world title. Hopefully, they do answer the question of what happened to Jacob. With this being an unsanctioned match, too, um, if they were the one to give Jacob an avenue to go in a direction to go in post WrestleMania that's not the WWE title, this would be a great opportunity to have that person that attacked him calls to the match with Drew, because Drew has denied that he's been the one that attacked him this whole time. So I do believe we're going to lead in the direction of hopefully that is answered. It's not something that's never resolved, or it's not something just as easy to say as Drew was lying this whole time and he did it. But I'm going to go with Drew for the win there. Then we're going to the main card, which yes, there is no pre-show matches, but going into the pay-per-view only matches here. We got Stephanie Vicaire defending the Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan. Just like Jacob and Drew, there's a couple avenues you can go in here. Stephanie, she's been cooled off here recently. I think it'd be great to give her the win. But then also you got Liv Morgan on the other hand, and there's a couple avenues you can do. You can have Stephanie get the win, and then you haven't built the tension that much with Liv and Raquel, but Raquel was a beast in NXT, and she's been doing incredible, and she has been improving significantly here on the main roster as well. And I think that it's time to give her that run for the world title. If you wanted to have her cost Liv the championship at Mania, you can. I would honestly though, what I'm going to say my prediction is you're going to give Liv the win here. I think you're going to give an opportunity to have Stephanie step back from the world title scene for a little bit. Liv gets the win, and then Stephanie will go off and do her own thing for at least temporarily, and then Liv will feud with Raquel, leading up to Raquel getting that world championship moment um, that she's needed, and then gives the scene a little bit of time for Liv the opportunity to be world champion again. But she's been world champion once before. multi-time world champion in WWE. So be able to put her friend over in this scene and build a new star, it's an awesome opportunity. I mean, I can't lie that that's something I'm excited for, or that I'm not excited for. I'm really excited the opportunity to see Raquel get a proper world championship run on the main roster. So yeah, I'm going with Liv here. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. AJ Lee, when she won the Intercontinental Championship, definitely could have gone a better way. Her winning at Elimination Chamber for that short reign to build up to Mania, I think that's a great avenue that they went in, because instead of doing it where she wins at Mania and then drops it at Backlash, you have it the where she's walking into Mania with that. And you're given that. Hopefully, this is the ending chapter between her and Lynch, where Becky had teamed with Seth against AJ and Punk at WrestlePalooza, and then you had the Elimination Chamber uh, Intercontinental Championship match. So AJ's got the she's got a little bit up there on Lynch, and I think Becky getting the win here is important and well due for her to get her third Intercontinental Championship reign. I do believe this gives the opportunity for Becky to go on, and she's been trying to build some characters up and build some stars up. She helped build Lyra's profile there for a little bit when they were feuding. Her winning the title from Lyra, though, wasn't the greatest idea, but I can go on a whole tangent of that, which I'd rather not. Because it also helped build Maxine up. Maxine got the Intercontinental Championship for a couple weeks. So, and I think it's going to lead to Becky putting someone else over too. And it's an awesome opportunity. I appreciate what Becky's doing for that, because that's doing great things and only helping build more stars in the long run. And I just appreciate that. So, absolutely love to see what's going on. I'd love to see what Becky does with the title after WrestleMania. I think only good things go from here with Becky getting the win. Next up, you got the women's world tag team titles on the line. Yeah, as of now, it's still listed that it's Nia and Lash, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bailey and Lyra, and the Bella Twins. Now, I know Nikki is injured, and she may be back in time. If so, awesome. I think that this is going to be a good feel good win for the Bellas. I think that you want night one to feel a little bit better leading up to that main event. Um, because honestly, it's something that the Bellas have when they were around full time. There was no women's world tag team titles, and yes, there was a tag team title for the women's division a long time ago before the Bellas were here. That title was retired then, and by the time the Bellas had came back or left WWE is when they brought in the second iteration that we now know. If the Bellas are replaced with the Kabuki Warriors, which is rumored, or this just becomes a triple threat, I think you should give it to Nia and Lash to retain here. I think it'd be really cool to tease a Lash and Charlotte match again. I know that was at the Rumble, but yeah, that'd be really cool again to see too. So if the Bellas are in, I think the Bellas win. If not, I think we got the champions retaining here. Going on to the next match, you got Seth Rollins and Gunther. You know, I've talked to some friends about this. This definitely seems like the combination of two matches. With Gunther, it seemed like he was going to have Rey Mysterio, and then with Rollins, it seemed like Braun Breaker. I understand that Breaker being cleared and Rey's back as well. Why not do those two matches? I get that aspect from people saying, but I also see where management's coming from, where they want to give those two matches some time to breathe and just tell a little bit more story, and they just need a little bit more time. So I understand that. I get it. Honestly, I think Rollins and Gunther is going to be match of the night. So getting that opportunity to really see those two go at it is going to be a phenomenal match. I think Gunther gets the win here. I think this teases that Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam. Back on Raw, he had a backstage promo Gunther did with Heyman, and Heyman was like, "Why are you helping me?" So I think this leads to Gunther basically, as he implied, he didn't say it outright, but it came off that it was implied that you owe me a favor, and that favor is probably a match with Lesnar for his career in SummerSlam. Um, then you got lastly in the main event, Cody Rhodes defending against Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in the corner. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, SmackDown has not happened yet. I do believe we could see Jelly Roll become a part of Cody Rhodes' corner here, especially since he's had a few angles there with the team. So we'll see. I think that ultimately this is going to be the interesting thing because we all wanted it to be Cody and Randy, right? Like uh, there's not too many fans that were exactly preferable in this direction it's gone in. Trying to because do am I mad about Pat being in the match? No, I'm not. However, before y'all jump to conclusion, I'd much rather have Randy and Cody just be a match about the history, the legacy that they were in, literal faction legacy, and how Cody's seeing, um, his mentor betray him, but Randy seeing someone that he taught is passing him by, and he feels like he's getting left behind, especially when you could say like his colleague Cena, with John Cena retiring, he's now retired and he has three world championships over Randy. It used to be neck and neck, and then it was for a long time, uh, very close, but breaking the record, breaking Flair's record. You can go into that story of how it's bothered Randy, and Randy feels like he's being left behind, and he doesn't want that. We didn't get that, and hopefully we do get that in some time. I understand we're probably going to have McAfee and Orton against Rhodes and Jelly Roll at Backlash. That's going to be a fun match. Ultimately, Backlash normally is one of those pay per views that is more. It's not like it's not one of the big five, right? And even now, so I think it's going back to the big four. We can go on a whole tangent about that, but it's not a major pay per view. It's usually supposed to be a fun time, great matches. Not a problem there. I think as long as everything kind of stays where it's the main focus is Cody and Randy in that match, and McAfee is just kind of there, or Jelly Roll and McAfee kind of take each other out, cancel each other out at the beginning of the match. Um, that's fine, right? It's you got to keep a positive attitude about it, and just remember that we're here to enjoy wrestling, and it may not be the direction we want it to be. And that stinks, but I'm still not gonna let that ruin the night for now. Um, but yeah, long story short, I think that I prefer the Cody and Randy in a straight 1-on-1. With the cards we've been dealt with, though, you know, I'm still going to try my best to enjoy it. I do think Randy gets the win here, though. To get off my tangent there, I think Randy gets the win, comes champion once again for the world title. He gets a little bit of a run there. I think that ultimately you're going to see him hold it till SummerSlam. Kind of the same thing Cena did last year, where he had a little bit of a mini run there as a heel, hit some of the classics there. Don't know if he'll hit like some big classics with his feuds there, but more so you get to see him as a heel before he probably drops it to Cody, and Cody becomes a four-time world champion at SummerSlam. So more than likely the case there. And then I do think either tonight or night one, or they'll show the Hall of Fame class and do like a brief cameo on night two. Um, but yeah, let's dive into night two. So the two matches that they announced that will be on ESPN. So on night one, it was ESPN two. Night two is going to be ESPN proper. First match is Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. I do believe that I I won't Oba the win. I think it's the right direction. I think it builds the right star. This man is money. He is going to be phenomenal. He is already. But ultimately, it comes down to you know what my heart tells me is not what my mind's telling me, and what I've been conditioned as a wrestling fan to see is whoever stands tall leading in the WrestleMania typically is the guy who loses the match. And Brock has not stood tall at any of their interactions with Oba the entire build up to WrestleMania. And is this the case where I hope this is a one off and that Oba just is shown to be dominant and this is Brock just really putting him over on it, especially if he's on his way out at SummerSlam? Yeah, I'd like that. I do think Oba should be the winner. But ultimately, my gut's telling me this is going to be a Lesnar win. So I'm going to put him down as my prediction. The main event of the ESPN show, the ESPN hour, is the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. It's a six-pack challenge. Penta defends his title against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was a late addition to the match, more than likely just because he was cleared a little bit later in, and he's a great name for some name value to add to the match, especially when a lot of the talent are fairly new in their WWE tenure, maybe not wrestling tenure, but WWE tenure. kind of run down the card very briefly. We got Javon Evans. I think he would have no. I'd have no issues with him winning the Intercontinental title. I don't necessarily believe this is his time though. I'll get a little bit more of that here in just a minute. Dragon Lee, he's had a great showcase ever since he won those tag titles with AJ Styles, and then he went on to have that excellent match, the Raw after Elimination Chamber with Gunther. Had a little bit of a kind of disappeared a little bit afterwards, but then he's back in the Intercontinental Championship scene. Could definitely see him getting a feel good moment. JD McDonough, I love him. I think he was excellent. And everything he's done, even back in NXT UK, is Jordan Devlin. But I don't believe this is the time yet. But I do believe he will probably be one of the standouts of this match. Rusev is awesome. I loved his character in AEW as the Redeemer. I do hope one day we kind of get back to that in WWE or some form of fashion. And an Intercontinental Championship reign would be amazing to see. But I just don't think, again, it's the time. But he's been very cooled off. He had that match with Oba. I believe that's one of his more recent matches he had outside of his qualifier match for the ladder match on main event. So ultimately, I just don't believe this is time. Hopefully, it's a win and not an if there. And then you got Rey Mysterio. I think he was added for the name value. I think Rey is awesome. There's no issues I have with Rey Mysterio. He is an amazing talent. But I think ultimately he was added here more so just to add a sixth person to the ladder match because I feel like five is short, especially for a Mania match. But he'll do excellent. There's a small chance he can get it just so he can drop it back to Dominic. Again, I don't really see that being the case, though. I think we're going with Penta for the retention. That's my prediction. He just won it. The reason I don't say give it to Javon is Javon has time. Penta just got the belt. Let's not rush it off of him and let him build up a little bit more of a reign there. As far as I can remember correctly, he doesn't have too many matches really as champion. I believe he had the match with Grande Americano Kaiser, and then he just defended the title in Mexico against Vikingo. So not too much under his belt. So let's get a little bit more under his belt before we, do have the championship reign in for Penta. I think he is just got. I think the sky's the limit for him. So absolutely. Going into the next match, kind of the pay per view exclusive matches. We got Jade Cargill going against Rhea Ripley. I do think this is a retention for Jade. I think ultimately Rhea was inserted into this match because Bianca was not healed in time, and they needed someone with star power, especially since it seemed like Rhea and Io were going to be challenging for the World Tag Titles again. It's just someone for Jade to have an excellent match with, and I have no doubt that won't be the case. They'll have an excellent match, absolutely. But yeah, give Jade the win here. I think she's going to walk away with the win. We got Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States title. If you guys didn't look into it, Sami Zayn and Trick Williams was discussed by Solid Monster on his podcast. I think it was excellent insight by him. For him to go on and say that he believes that Sami Zayn should retain here, especially if they are going to do the double turn, and have Zayn win by nefarious means to ultimately get Trick that last little bit pushed over as a babyface. Where it doesn't change his character too much, but just kind of makes him it's just that push that he needs. So I'm going to go with Zayn to retain here, and hopefully this will be the double turn. Next to last, we got Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. You asked me before it was announced that Balor would be the demon. I'm going to go Mysterio to retain. My official prediction now, though, is Balor gets the win. Say retain. He's not champion right now, but he will be in sometime. But getting back on it, I think Balor gets the win over Dominic. Ultimately, you can't bring the demon back just to have him lose again, so I think he's going to get the win here. It's going to be a good match, but not really much more to add on there. We're probably going to honestly get the John Cena. John Cena is going to be host of the year for WrestleMania. I think we're going to get a segment with him and Danhausen. So I think that's what we're leading towards now. We'll probably get that for about 15, 20 minutes. And then maybe very briefly mention the Hall of Fame class, as they'll probably get more of a spotlight the night one. But the main event is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I think you can't have every champion retain. leading up to night two, which is regarded as one of the biggest nights of wrestling history every year, without having something happen. So I think Roman gets the win here. I think Roman does ultimately get the win. I prefer Punk. I like having Punk around more. But if this just leads to a short, condensed reign with Roman Reigns winning the world title, that's fine. I think if he's around a little bit more, not the end of the world. But do I prefer it? No. But am I going to be mad about it? No, because ultimately Roman represents himself well. He does an excellent job as world champion, and I do get excited when he is around. It's just tough when he's not around, and ultimately it's going to be a good time though. But that's my predictions. Before I let you go though, just there's something just before we go into WrestleMania weekend. Remember, everything I said is just opinions. It's all guess game. I'm not a reporter. But most importantly, guys, we're here to have fun. We're going to have a good time. It's wrestling. We may not have the matches go the way we want it, uh, and we're allowed to be frustrated. But just remember, this is supposed to be an outlet for us to have fun, and let's do that. I hope you guys have a wonderful WrestleMania weekend. Please comment below if y'all want to talk about wrestling. This is what this channel is for, is an outlet for me to talk about wrestling with people. Find me on Twitter at Bry Boondog. Or like I said, we just talked in the comments. So I hope y'all again have a wonderful WrestleMania weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great day. Bye.